doing is we are standardizing the teaching material, and then we are standardizing the communication platform or the service architecture. Standardizing both will make sure that everybody in the world can communicate and access the wealth of information available all over the world. Now we try to implement it using J2EE. The architecture described here is just one kind of architecture. Each company might want a different kind of architecture, but then the final communication between this architecture and the service architecture should be common. So whatever system you bring in, you can replace it with .NET system also, but it needs to be communicated properly. The outside communication should be standardized. That's when it will be effective. We see that it's a three-tier architecture. The bottommost layer here is the EJB or the servlet architecture. The middle layer is the servlet architecture. And finally, the top layer is the JSP architecture, JSP layer. The lowermost layer or the data access layer may contain beans. Here what I have shown is the EJB beans, where it will access the learning content using SCORM compliant model beans. And then these data model beans are actually picked up from the database, and according to the requester, they are sent to the client. The servlet layer serves in serving the content and processing the requests. The servlet layer also has a content management control, which controls which content is going to which particular user. We can have different types of users. The different types of users, as you can see on top, are learners or the students, content experts who are the subject matter experts, and teachers. So the servlet layer here decides which content should go to whom. It also sorts the service requests so that not all services provided to all users. They can certainly request for services, but not every service is provided to every kind of user. The delivery control, most of the controls in fact, are stationed in this middle layer, the servlet layer. And the tracking of these controls are also stationed in the servlet layer. The front end of this system architecture is the JSP layer, which actually takes the request, processes the request, and provides the users with content delivery, etc. It handles the secure login, secure content delivery, etc. All this is done obviously with the help of the middle layer. Now this is a broad explanation of a J2EE architecture. The same which is provided in this gray box can be replaced with .NET architecture and still made workable. That is the beauty of a collaborative environment. What we discussed today is something particular to J2EE, implemented using web services, using standardized teaching material or learning objects. So we have broadly divided our e-learning system into three parts. The learning content, which is standardized, the service architecture, which is again standardized, and the underlying platform, which can be anything, the legacy system, so long as it complies with the service architecture. The LCMS architecture using this J2EE and web services has components in the functional model. These are distributed into different layers. That is the advantage that we bring to this. The components with similar functions in the same layers are combined and provided to the upper layer or the layer above it. This model promotes a model that anticipates growth. This can be easily changed also, as we all know. And it also encourages component-oriented code reusability. It leverages the strength of the interlayer communication technique. And the tier integration is easy, and which is also the strength of this model. In conclusion, what we have seen in this webinar are we analyze the need for a common e-learning system. We proposed a model which divides the e-learning system into 3 logical broad categories: the learning material part, the underlying system platform part, and the middle communication part. We also define the different learning objects that are exchanged or allowed to exchange between each component. Not every teaching material is accepted. Similarly, not every platform can be accepted. And the web services is the glue that provides the collaborative capability for the platform using these standardized learning objects. That is what we conclude our webinar discussion with. I would like to take your questions now if you have any.